Welcome back to the channel, guys, and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. Good to see your smiling face again. Now, most of you guys are thinking, Jatin, where were you all this time? It's been 1 month. There was no new video on this particular channel. Is everything fine? Yes, everything is fine. I was sick for some time, but hey, I'm fine now. Thank you so much. The thing over here, guys, I was pretty much tied up with the SDET Masterclass course creation. And over there, I was actually working on a very important module that requires my undivided attention. So most of my entire day was going into planning the entire notes, the lectures, as well as the assignments for the student. And the remaining part was left with the one-to-one sessions with students over there. So yeah, that was where I was busy all the time. But hey, the moment I got free, the first thing that I thought was of you guys. And here I am, guys, with the new Study With Me session. And in this Study With Me session, guys, we will be solving 2 coding interview questions. This question was provided to us by Ashima. Ashima has 10 years of experience in automation testing, and the company that she was giving the interview was NAB, which is National Australian Bank. The questions are pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but hey, it's really important to practice so that you remember the logic during the interview. So I hope you have not forgotten the drill about the Study With Me session. I'm going to explain you the logic. You're going to write the code. If you get stuck somewhere, you can watch the part where I'll be writing the code for the same. So I hope you guys are ready. So without wasting time now, guys, let's get started. Welcome back to the class, guys, and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. We are in the logic building module, and today we will be solving another important interview question. Now, this particular question was asked for the company NAB, which is National Australian Bank. Technically, there were 2 questions. The first question was all about pattern printing, which we will see in the first part of this particular lecture. In the next lecture, we will be focusing on the second part, which is going to be a string manipulation. Now, both of these questions are pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but guys, you need to know the logic of these programs so that you can write the code confidently in your interview. So without wasting time, guys, let's get started. Now, over here, guys, the interviewer has asked us that, hey, you are supposed to print, all right, a pattern, okay, on your console. What kind of pattern is this going to be? This is going to be a mountain pattern. All right. Now, what is this mountain pattern? Understand this. So, what the interviewer is telling us, ki baba, hey, print this pattern. And the pattern goes like this. 1. Okay. Then you're supposed to go to the next line. 1, 2. All right. Then we're supposed to go to the next line. 1, 2, 3. All right. On the next line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're supposed to go to the next line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does this look familiar? Yeah, we have already solved this one, right? This is the star pattern, the basic one like this. Okay. You have seen this one, right? But hey, this particular pattern is not completed yet. The second part, or the second half of this particular triangle is going to be something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. All right. So this is the pattern that we are supposed to print on the console. Okay. So the question is, how do we go about with this particular pattern? Now, if you have solved the logic building properly, you're already aware of this pattern. All right. This pattern is something that we can easily build it. And even if you have forgotten about it, don't worry. I'm going to cover it off again. We're going to understand the logic again. The problem that you might face, and that's not also a big problem because this problem is actually a very simple one. This part is something that you might not be aware of. All right. So we will understand this part also. Okay. So let me just rub this particular stuff. Now, the thing is, whenever we are trying to do a pattern printing program, right, the main essence or the heart of this particular program is your looping. Okay, because you are going to use nested loops. That's going to come into picture. So over here also nested looping is going to come into picture. But generally what happens, people always forget that what is the purpose of your outer loop, inner loop, why I am creating a loop with a certain number, why it is going till that number and all those things. So people generally have this hard time coming up with that logic. We'll understand it one more time in simple thing. Now, over here, if I just draw this particular pattern quickly, it's this 1, 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2. Let me just rub this. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. All right. Now, what we will be doing now, whenever you are doing pattern printing, you are going to require a grid to come into picture. Now, look at this entire mountain, okay, and tell me the biggest number which you are able to see. 5. All right. So over here, if I am only focusing on the first part of this particular triangle, which is this, all right, which is this, the last row, this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, row number 5. Row number 5 has all the numbers printed over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So we need to first take care of the grid, all right, of your rows and columns. So over here, we have the row 1. Okay. This is your row 1. Then you are going to have row 2. Then you are going to have row 3. Then you are going to have row 4. And then you have row 5 coming into picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now, we're not putting these numbers right now. Observe carefully. Now, the total number of columns which are going to be there is always going to be decided by the biggest number or the last row of this particular triangle. So this is the last row, na? So it tells the total number of columns which are going to be there. Tell me the total number of columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this grid is going to have 5 columns also. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Okay, let's put over here column. This is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 and column 5. When you are on row 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns available for us. But the row number is going to tell you how many numbers needs to be kept. Row numbers tell me how many numbers we are supposed to keep. So row 1 tells ki Baba, you should have only 1 entry coming into picture. So we will always write it in this particular grid format only. So on column 1 only 1 will be kept. Okay, we will take this particular entry and we're going to put it off over here. So row tells me how many numbers will be printed. And columns tell me, okay, the number that will be printed. Okay, 1 tell me how many times I need to do it. And column is telling me the number that will get printed over here. If I'm going to go to row 2 tells what? Row 2 tells me that 2 numbers needs to be printed. And column is telling me the numbers that will be printed. All right. So since two numbers needs to be printed, it's going to be 1 this and this. Row 3 tells me 3 numbers needs to be printed. 1, 2, 3. Row 4 is telling me 4 numbers needs to be printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 is telling me, oops, row 4 is going to tell me 4 numbers are going to be printed, not 5. Now, row 5 is going to tell me 5 numbers are going to be printed, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the thing is, if you want to always print the pattern without mugging up the code, you need to understand the purpose of rows and column. All right. Now, one thing that I know that for the first part of this particular triangle, okay, the total number of rows is 5. Okay. So, this is the total number of rows for the first half. Okay. This is the first half. Now, over here, guys, what I'm going to say, I'm going to create a variable integer n, and n is going to be initialized with 5. What is the purpose of n? N talks about the total number of rows in the first half. All right. Now, what we want? We want to print this particular pattern. So, first, I'm going to have a for loop. And this for loop, my dear friends, is going to take care of rows. If you look carefully, row numbers are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're incrementing one by one. And they are in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what is the starting value of row 1? So, I'm going to create a looping variable called row. It's going to be initialized with 1. And row is going to be less than or equal to n. Why n? N is 5. Row is less than or equal to 5. Right? The maximum value that row can take for the first half of this particular triangle is 5 only. And then I'm going to simply say row plus plus. Row plus plus means increment it 1 by 1. 5 plus 1, it is going to be incremented. Next, just simply print this thing off. This is out row. So if you remember, how does loop work? Int row equal to 1. So a looping variable, row will be created. Row will be initialized with 1. Row less than or equal to n. Row is what? 1 less than or equal to 5. 1 less than 5 or 1 equal to 5. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. Or is 1 equal to 5? No. Because you're using an or, at least one condition needs to be true. This condition is true. And since the condition is true, Java will enter into the loop and it is going to print row. So for us, 1 will be printed on our console. Then the row will be incremented. Row plus plus. What is row plus plus? Row is equal to row plus 1. What is the value of row? 1. 1 plus 1. Answer is 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. Let me write it down over here. 2 less than or equal to 5. 2 less than 5 or 2 equal to 5. 2 to less than 5. This condition is true. This condition is false. We are using an or. So at least one condition became true. I'm happy. Since the condition is true, I'm going to come inside the loop. I'm going to print the value of row. Value of row is what? 2. 2 will be printed on our console. Next, row will be incremented again. Row is going to become 3 now. 3 less than or equal to 5. 3 less than 5 or 3 equal to 5. Perfect. 3 is less than 5. This condition is true and this condition is false. True or false? Okay, at least one condition is true. It's going to enter into the loop. Okay, row will be printed. 3 got printed for us. All right. Then row will be incremented again. Row is going to become 4. 4 less than or equal to 5. We know that 4 is less than 5. This condition is going to become false. This condition is going to become true. Since the condition is true, Java will enter into the loop and is going to print 4 for us. And then the row is going to be incremented again, and this is going to be 5. And this condition is very important. 5 less than or equal to 5. Is 5 less than 5? 5 is equal to 5. This condition became true. So we're going to mark this one as false, and this one is going to become true. So only for the last value, that is when row is going to become 5, the last condition is going to become true. All right. And 5 is going to be printed for us. Now, row is again going to be incremented. This time, row is going to become 6. 6 less than or equal to 5. Is 6 less than 5? No, 6 is greater than 5. Or is 6 equal to 5? No, 6 is greater than 5. Both the conditions are false. Since both the condition becomes false, Java will exit from the loop. It's not going to execute the statement 1 anymore. All right. So over here, guys, we got the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. But we don't want to print. We don't want to print the row numbers. We want to print this pattern. But understanding how the loop works, this is important. So now what? Let me just rub this particular chap quickly. Now, guys, I am getting the row numbers, which is technically really important. Okay, because this row number, okay, is going to tell me how many numbers needs to be printed. So these numbers printing is going to be decided by the row number. Now, what numbers will be printed? They will be decided by column. So here also, I'm going to have another loop. I'm going to say for int column equal to 1. Why column is getting started by 1? Because the first entry is of 1 only. Okay. The entry of your columns start from 1. So column is equal to 1 and column is going to be less than or equal to what? If it is row 1, I am only printing 1. If it is row 2, I am only printing 2. I am not going for 3. So the maximum value of column for a particular row will be decided by that row number only. So over here, I'm going to say column is going to be less than or equal to a row. And then I'm going to say column plus plus. And then inside this particular loop, what I want? This loop takes care of printing. This one is taking care of your printing. On a particular row, I only want the respective number of entries or the numbers to be shown. So over here, I can simply say sysout or system dot out dot print column. The reason I am not putting ln over here is because after some time, the numbers are going to be printed horizontally also, one after the other, till the time the entire row is printed for us. All right. So once this particular stuff is completed, what I'm going to do is outside the inner for loop, I am simply going to say system dot out dot print ln and print a empty line. All right. So this is the snippet for the first part of this particular triangle, which is something which we have seen a lot of time. Okay. How many numbers will be printed will be decided by the columns. Okay. And once the printing happens, we are supposed to go to the next line, right? That next line is going to be controlled by this system.out.println. Is this part clear to everyone? Perfect. Now, what I want you guys to do is, I want you guys to pause this particular video. Go to your Eclipse, create a new class. All right. And over there, guys, write this particular snippet and try to print the first part of this particular triangle. Try to do it quickly. Alright guys, I hope you have written the code so far. Now let me just write the code quickly. So let me go to the logic building exercise, guys. And damn, man, we have written a lot of code. I hope you have practiced all these program, guys, because whatever the programs we have covered so far, all right, all these programs, whatever you see, these programs are all important interview question. If you just study this, I can give you the guarantee that you are going to do just fine in your coding interviews. All right. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the com.logic building package. I'm going to quickly create a class. If you are not able to write the code, now is the time. Start writing it along with me. I'm going to say NAB underscore mountain pattern printing. All right. So let's close this particular chap. Let's bring this guy down, and I am going to quickly introduce the main method. Now, over here, guys, the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly create a variable called n, and n is going to be initialized with 5. Why 5? Because that's the maximum number that needs to be printed, right? And it is also talking about the total number of rows which are there in the first part of the triangle. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have this loop int row equal to 1, which is my looping variable. Row is going to be less than or equal to n, and I'm going to say row plus plus. So over here, we have 5 rows in the first part of the triangle. So that's the reason a row is going to be less than or equal to 5. And here, I'm going to say for int column equal to 1, column is going to be less than or equal to row, and then I'm going to say column plus plus. All right. Now, inside this particular loop, the inner loop is going to take care of printing the number. Okay, the numbers for us. Outer loop is deciding, okay, till what number we need to print. That's the reason column is less than or equal to row. Okay, till what number we need to print. So over here, if I'm just going to say system.out.println, a lot of time people say that why I'm not using print ln over here. I'm just going to do it for you guys. I'm going to say system.out.println call. Save it, right click, run as Java application. You will notice I'm getting this 1, 1, 2, 3, all those things. If I'm going to remove this ln and I'm going to click on the play button, all the numbers are getting printed horizontally. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we need to do. So once this particular stuff is getting completed, outside the inner for loop, you simply say print a empty line. And if I'm going to click on the play button, we are done. All right. So guys, we are getting the first part of this particular triangle. Now this part is something what we need to take care of. And this is very simple, guys. If you have understood the purpose of rows as well as column, rows is going to tell what? Rows is going to tell me how many numbers needs to be printed. So over here, for this particular row, how many numbers needs to be printed? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for this particular row, how many numbers needs to be printed? 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, and then 1. So here, there is a decrement which is happening. So what needs to be decremented now? Your rows needs to be decremented. Column, you can't decrement it. Okay, because your column is like incrementing only 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. But the total number of entries which are getting printed over there, that is getting decremented, and that is going to be controlled by your rows. So over here, guys, you are going to have another loop, and I'm going to say for int row equal to what? This time we are going to decrement the row. So row is going to be n minus 1. Why n minus 1? Because we want 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is what? 5 minus 1. 5 is what? We are storing 5 in n, right? So I'm going to say row is going to be initialized with n minus 1. and then I'm going to say row is going to be greater than or equal to 1. Why 1? Because the last entry over here is going to have 1 over here. All right. So the last value that row is going to take is going to be 1. And I'm going to say row minus minus. All right. And you just take this particular loop as it is. Paste it over here. Done. Click on the play button. Finish. All right. Quickly introduce this particular stuff at your end, guys. If you have not written the code, quickly write it down. All right. And this is the whole program, guys. All right. I hope you have written the code at your end, guys. This is a very important interview question. It has been asked. So please make sure you solve it pretty well. Now I'm going to see you guys in the next class. Don't forget to mark your attendance. In case of any doubts and queries, you know where to reach out to me. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Alright guys, welcome back to the class and I hope you guys are doing pretty good. So in today's class, we will be solving the second program for your NAB interview or the NAB interview. This particular program is pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and over here, we just need to do a string manipulation. That's simple as that, nothing fancy. Now, what we will be doing, we will directly work on the Eclipse. You don't need to worry about the blackboard over here. So I'm going to quickly create a class. Let's close this. Let's quickly create a class. And I'm going to call this particular class as string manipulation. All right, it's already there. And I'm going to attach NAB over here. That this is the company NAB. All right, let's remove hyphen and put an underscore. Done. Now, over here, guys, let's introduce the main method. Now, what's the question over here, guys? So the interviewer has given us a number. So this is the number. It's going to be 123. It can be any number. Okay, 346. Now, the interviewer is telling us that, hey, you're supposed to tell the total number or the count of the numbers which are coming after the decimal. So over here, we have 123 and then we have a dot, the decimal. After decimal, how many numbers are there? We got 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the output of the program should be 4 because after decimal, we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 numbers are there. So the output of this particular program should be 4. So what should be the approach over here? The approach over here, guys, is we will be playing with the string methods. So the first thing that we will be doing is we will be converting the number to string. How to do that? Pretty simple. You're going to use string.valueOf. I'm going to say string.valueOf method and I'm going to pass the number. All right. So what it is going to do, it is going to take this double value and it is going to convert and give us string. So over here, I'm going to get string, let's say input. All right. So if you want to convert anything into string, you can use string.valueOf. It's going to be converted into string and given back to us. Now, if I am going to print input and I'm going to click on the play button, you will notice it's the same thing, 1, 2, 3 dot 3, 4, 5, 6. So over here, this 1, 2, 3 dot 3, 4, 5, 6, it's a string. It's not a double. All right. Now, what is the next thing that we will be doing? We will figure out where this decimal is coming. Can I do that? Yes. There is again a very important string method. So I'm going to say input dot index of. All right, index of. And over here, I am going to give dot. I'll try to find the index of this decimal. So over here, it's going to give me the index of this chap. So it's going to be int index of decimal. And if I try to print this for you guys, what is the index? This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Let me use the pen. So over here, this is going to be on the 0th index, this is on the first, this is on second, this is on third. So your dot, your decimal is going to come on the third index. So the output of this thing should be 3 for us. So if I'm going to click on play, this is going to be 3. Is this part clear to everyone? Great. Now, what is the next thing? See, over here, this is just a simple maths now. We got 1, 2, 3, dot, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I'm just putting it in a form of an array because we are playing with indexes also, right? We got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the thing over here is this whole thing is string for us. So can I know the length of the string? Yes. Okay, with the length method, the length of this particular string is 8. Right, index is 7, no? 0 to 7. So length is going to be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Length is 8. I know the index of the decimal. So if I'm going to do 8 minus 3, it is going to give me 5. But hey, when I do 8 minus 3, it is just subtracting this thing. All right. I got the total number of characters, all right, which are remaining. But I don't want this also. So what? I'm going to subtract one more. Okay. So in this way, you will get 4. All right. So the total number of digits which comes after the decimal is 4, right? So now all I need to do is, I can simply say system.out.println what? Input dot length, all right, minus the index of decimal minus 1. Why minus 1? Because we want to remove this dot also, right? So we want to focus from here till here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we will get the count as 4. And here you go. So we don't need to print this chap. I can just Control Shift C for us so that I can comment it. And when you click on the play button, the output is 4. And you'll be like, it should work for other inputs also, right? So I'm just going to keep on changing it. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So if I'm going to click on the play button, 9. All right. Right click, run as Java application. You're getting 9. And that's it, guys. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So that's it for this particular class also. Thank you so much for watching. Now I'm going to see you guys in the next class. Don't forget to mark your attendance. In case of any doubts and queries, you know where to reach out to me. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.